Hello guys, this is Poet Spice Jamie Little Tallulah, and I'm here to do another tutorial on the quilling flowers from Crafter's Companion in their quilling flower box, which is the subscription box for box number 5. You're basically going to use 2 sheets of your quilling flowers in here, and it's 8 strips, 2 of the large, or 4 of the large, 4 of the small, and then how many ever stamens you're going to use. Then take those, and I punched out the little ones. So I made a long strip with 2 in the back. Then I put a piece of tape, double-sided tape, down the length of 1. Okay. Then all you have to do is take that double-sided tape off. And you want to be careful because these are delicate pieces and they can rip. So you want to make sure you get that off. Okay, so now I have my big piece here with double-sided tape, and all I'm going to do is take my other layer of, oops, things got tangled up. There we go. I'm going to take my other layer that I made longer, just by taping the 2 together, and I'm going to put it on this piece offset. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and offset this. This will make your flower fuller to begin with. And it'll quill faster. You still won't get a super huge flower. So you'd want to make some more or cut some more if you wanted an even bigger flower. Okay. So basically we have that tape down and it's offset, right? Just like that. Okay. Now you can tell I did some inking. All I did was take my little sponge dauber, take some ink, and did it on the front. Now because it's a 3D flower and both sides will show to some extent, you want to do the same thing on the back. Now, because of the way these are attached to the paper here, you want to hold above this area so that you don't rip them off. So you just take your dauber, hold it down, do some coloring. I would put it on a white sheet of paper or a colored sheet of paper so then you can use it as a background. So you're not wasting that ink just slapping it down somewhere that you can't use. So you see the piece under mine, I can then turn around and use in some other piece, some mixed media piece, so forth and so on. So, and then you can just move it around or whatever. Okay, so we did that. Now, I have, I'll take just to my page, and I'm going to turn around so you can see that one. So now I have my big petals. I have my small petals that I've already prepared. Okay, and then I have 3 of the straight stamens that were in the box. I just punched those out. Okay. I'm going to use some wet glue. You can use hot glue, whatever. They had this quilling tool inside, so I'm just going to take one of these strips with the good side. So you have that nice bevel. If you've die cut, you know you have that bevel edge and then you have the less neat edge. I'm just going to take it and put it in my tool here. Like that. I'm going to start to roll it to get it curved a little bit. Then I'll unroll it. Put some glue on there, and you go to town. So, okay, so now I have all 3 of those quilled, and you can see them on here. Can you see? Okay, now you could take it off the tool, you could leave it on, whatever is convenient for you. Okay, so now I'm going to take the smaller ones. Now I want you to notice that there's a join where you put the paper on. I start behind that join so that we're not laying join on join. So you're going to start with your next piece that you want to layer. These are your small petals with the good side facing in or facing towards your piece. Okay, and then you're going to quill those. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue back behind here and over this to get it started. And stick that on there. All right. And because these are thicker, you just kind of want to get it started. And then as you're going around, you want to kind of push your petals in. Okay. All right. So put some more glue. And let's get that going. And like I said, you could take it off the quilling tool or you can leave it on. It's up to you. All right, you see that? See how I keep just kind of squishing the leaf or the petal. I want to say leaves, the petals in. Okay. And you just add glue as you go. You want to try to avoid getting your petals to line up but right behind each other. So get them offset a bit. So you can either do it by kind of stretching it, but you don't want to rip it, or you might have to let it loose a little bit. Let it go looser. And then just keep on going. Okay, so that's pretty much what you do. And pretty soon here I'm going to pull this off of this. Hey, boo-boo. Some more glue. And keep in mind, make sure you turn your piece whichever way you need it. So right now I need to fix these, so I just kind of turn it this way. If I want to check it this way, I turn it that way. Okay? All right. So my other tip is, you'll notice that sometimes it gets wonky down here on the bottom and not real flat. You can just go ahead and push this down on your surface and get it straighter. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add all these and then the next set. Okay, I finished rolling on this next layer, and what I would suggest is that you kind of hold it, do some little scrunching with your leaves at the top, like that. And do some pressing down here to get it glued down the way you want. And this is kind of wobbly, so I'm just going to go ahead and push it down on the table. If it helps, you could stick your tool back in it and kind of press it down, but that's what I want to do, is get it pressed down. So now it's a little better. So it gets all shaped before you start the next one. So now I'm ready to start the next one. There's my join here. Oh, can you see that? So I'm going to start back here. Put some glue. Put the good side towards your piece, and I'm going to start it like that. Just get them shaped first around it. So notice, see, I turned it because I need to see it this way, just because I have. That's the way I need to do it. Then I got it around. I'm going to kind of crunch in these here, and I'm going to continue. Okay, so I'm getting close to the end of my last little strip. And like I said, these are all, or both strips and all of the red ones that they put in the box. So now I'm just kind of like wrapping this with some the leftover glue that's on my fingers, just to kind of seal it all down. Once again, go ahead and push it down on your surface. Shape your little petals. And I like to kind of scrunch them in and squish them in at the top. So I can also do that at the bottom. You want to be careful though, which was my tip before, that these pieces are not connected to by a lot. So you can rip them off, which is, you know, not what you want to do. That's not what you want to do. So you could just set it to dry for half a second. So this is what you'll have. Notice it's a lot straighter now on the bottom. And once it dries, there you go. I also want to make a comment on the depth of this. If you'll notice, you have the bottom in this piece here. That is about from here to where the petals touch the base is about 1/4 of an inch. So when you put this on your project, you have to realize that your flower is sitting 1/4 of an inch off the cardstock, which is different from when you use a die. Let's see if I can find one real quick. Yes. Excuse me. Where you use a die like this, where you just put them on top, because then they're sitting right on the surface, and then all your dimension is up here. However, these, you have dimension before you even get to the petals. So you have to be aware of that when you're putting them together. Okay, so next you can shape your tools or such. I am going to, let's see, you know what? I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use a marker.
I'm going to try this spectrum more. Let's see if it makes any color. It might not make the color because this is a dark color, but we shall see. Yeah, it's not going to do the color I want. Let's go with something else. Let's try. Let's go with a gray, which this is an IG8 spectrum noir chisel in. And let's see here. Yeah, there we go. So I'm just going to take this marker and go over the tips of the flower. And it doesn't matter if you get more or less on there, right? Doesn't matter because it's a flower. They don't have to be perfect. Okay, because they're going to have stripes and striations anyway. So you can go ahead and do this side too. There we go. Okay, so we're just going to put that there. So there's all kinds of ways you can color flowers. So you saw me do some inking, and then there's some markers. Now if you look at it, it looks really dark. But, I don't know.
Now all I'm going to do is just start pulling these out. So see that? You want to be careful because you can rip it. So here are the big flower petals, and then the smaller flower petals. You'll notice I'm just gently pulling them apart as we go around. And how far you want to pull them out is up to you. You could have left it as a bud if you wanted to. Pull these out. All right. Come on. All right, and then you can start doing them layer by layer if you want. Like that. And the rest is pretty much shaping. I'm going to go back and put some more marker on the tips because
I want to get those in there. On the edges like that. And as long as you do the same kind of flicking motion, it'll look pretty much natural. Okay, so there's that. I'll put that marker back. Okay.
So then we can go ahead and do some shaping with the leaves. You can do this like that. You can add more color. You can scrunch them, twist them. You just want to make sure you're holding them carefully so that they don't rip off. And if you've got some like these or back to back, you can gently move them over. And if you need them to stay, all you have to do is take a little bit of glue and like, I want these to stay where they are. Just take a little bit of glue inside there and hold that up just like that. And once it sticks, then those two petals will be in the fashion, in the place you want them. So you can do that all the way around. And if you happen to rip off a petal, you can actually just go back and glue it on. Just stick some glue in there like I did and keep it moving. I hope you enjoy. Bye.